welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm so glad that you decided to stop by. Happy New Year. It is finally 2021 and I am very hopeful going into this year, ready to get off to a fresh start, and I am doing that by setting some new goals and intentions for the new year and also getting organized mentally, physically, spiritually, and that's what today's video is going to be all about. I want to show y'all what I'm doing to set myself up for success in the new year and all different categories of my life, not just business, not just fitness. And I want to give y'all some tips and tricks, and I even have a goal setting worksheet that I made that I'm going to link below in the caption if you want to download it. It's for free, and this is the exact template I use to set my goals for the new year. I also wanted to make a little disclaimer that everything I'm going to be sharing with you is what works for me personally. Some of these things are new things I'm trying out this year, but I think one of my overall intentions for the year is just to be better organized and just live a happier life. And I feel like my mind is so much clearer and I feel way less overwhelmed whenever I'm organized and whenever my goals for myself are clear to me and I already have them laid out and I know exactly what I'm reaching for. So that's kind of where my mindset was behind all this. I think it might sound a little bit more complicated than it really is because it kind of is a lot of information and I have a lot of ambitions that I'm going for this year, but overall, my main goal in life is to be content with myself, to be happy, to feel good, and also to love others well, to be able to love my friends, family, and honestly anyone that I encounter. I just want to be the best version of myself, not only for me, but for the other people in my life. So I just want to share all this with you guys, and hopefully it helps you out in some way. So for the first part of the video, I want to go over goal setting and how I personally organize my goals and set up my steps in order to achieve them. And then for the second part, I will go over how I plan on staying organized in every aspect of my life this year. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I personally like to break my goals up into categories. I just feel like this helps me out not to have them all clumped together and just kind of break up the areas of my life and figure out where I want to improve. And then from there, I will bullet point them all, and then I'll break down each bullet point and figure out what I need to do in order to achieve that goal by the end of the year. Kind of creating a map for yourself of how you're going to get from A to Z and how you're going to achieve what you're setting out to accomplish. And basically you can do that by breaking it down, and I'm just going to use finances as an example, but say it is your goal to make an extra $10,000 this year and you want to add it to savings. So instead of just saying that broad goal, you're going to really want to specify it and be like, I am going to make $10,000 extra dollars and I'm going to put it into savings, and the way I'm going to do that is by making an extra X amount of money every single month, and the way I'm going to do that is by making an extra X amount of money every single week. And then when you really break it down, you can kind of see more realistically how you're going to achieve that. So say you need to make an extra $200 a week to meet your goal, whatever it is that you're going after, then break down how exactly are you going to get that extra $200 a week. Is it going to be by selling more products? Is it going to be by landing a few more clients? Once you really specify and break down how you're going to reach that goal, it becomes a lot clearer on what you need to do, kind of changes you need to make in order to achieve it. So definitely just something to think about whenever you are making your goals. Instead of just coming up with a broad goal like I want to read 50 books this year, say, yeah, I'm going to read 50 books this year and I'm going to make sure that I am at least reading one book a week, so that way I can meet and possibly overachieve on my goal. And one other thing is that I know some people don't like to set the bar too high because then they feel disappointed if they don't meet it, and I'm kind of the opposite. I'm like, let's raise the bar up to the sky, and then if we even get halfway there, then that's still way better than I would have done if I had just set the bar right here, knowing that I can reach that, but then just trying to make myself feel good for accomplishing a goal. So I'm sticking to the motto of go big or go home, set those goals high, and maybe you'll fall short, but maybe you'll surprise yourself and actually do better than you thought. I actually created this goal setting worksheet template on Canva, and you can do this too, or you can download mine. I'll link it below. It's free for you guys to use. But I broke my goals up into 5 categories, and then I also chose a word of the year and a quote of the year. So for the categories, I broke mine up into business and career, personal, health and fitness, and then I did financial and spiritual wellness. Those are my 5 main categories. I feel like all the categories are pretty self-explanatory, and I don't really need to go into depth about what each one means. I will explain the personal goal setting category category a little bit better because I feel like that one to me means things that don't necessarily fall in the other categories, and I'll tell y'all a few examples of mine. My first one is to complete Invisalign because I started that this last year, and then also I want to read 1 book per week. I want to donate to multiple charities. I want to visit some new US states, and I want to keep a weekly journal. And then I have some others listed out as well, but that just kind of gives you an idea. Those don't necessarily fall in my other categories, whereas my business goals are to finalize and launch a new preset pack, publish my first ebook, etc. Health and fitness, stick to a weekly workout routine, stretch daily. Financial goals, pay off student loans, add to my savings account. And then for spiritual and wellness, attend or watch church every Sunday, stick to my daily devotional. I chose to print my goals out and laminate them so I can keep them on my work desk, and they're kind of there for me to review and revisit often throughout the year. I feel like if it sounds a little bit excessive or overwhelming to be revisiting your goals every day, you could at least set a reminder on your phone for the beginning of every month where you reevaluate your goals, you see how much progress you've made, or where you need to readjust to meet them moving forward. And if setting so many goals like this is really overwhelming for you, please understand that you need to do what works best for you. I highly suggest coming up with anywhere from 3 to 5 goals that you feel like are really going to improve the value of your life, and just sticking to those. At the end of the day, you need to do what works best for you. My absolute number 1 tip for goal setting is to write them down. Write them down, type them up, have them physically put down on something, not just in your head, because that is statistically proven that they're more likely to come true whenever you are writing your goals down. I first sketched my goals up on a piece of paper, and then I wrote them down on my notes app in my phone, and I have them like bullet pointed as a checklist on there. If you take away anything from this video, just be sure to write your goals down, put them somewhere on your phone, on your computer, write them down on a piece of notebook paper, whatever you have to do, get them physically put down on something. And then if you even want to take your goal setting a step further, I highly suggest creating a vision board, and there is a number of ways you can do this. You can actually create a digital vision board by using Pinterest. I'll put a little screen recording of my personal vision board right here, and you can actually put your Pinterest board as a secret board. That way nobody else can see it and it's just private and personal to you. I keep mine on public so that other people can see it and get inspo if they like, but I really recommend doing this because then you can have it there permanently. You can revisit your vision board all year. You can add to it, you can remove stuff if you want, and you don't have to wait for the beginning of the year to add to your goals. So I definitely recommend looking at Pinterest if you want to get inspo for creating a vision board, but then you can also create a physical one, which I think is really fun. It involves a little bit more work. You can channel your crafty side and you can look through magazines, you can print off pictures, whatever you need to do. You can even put like fabric, textures, anything like that on there and create a physical vision board that you can keep on your desk or hang up on your wall. I live in an RV, so I'm not going to be making a huge vision board, but I think if I lived in a house and I had a big office, I would probably do that because I think they're really cool and inspiring, and just kind of like printing out my goals, it's another way for you to constantly be revisiting your vision and keep that at the forefront of your focus all year. So I wanted to add that once you create your vision board on Pinterest, you can even go make a vision board collage like this, and you can take all the photos, import them into Canva, and kind of mix around a collage. But these are just some fun and different ways to document your goals. And I briefly mentioned this earlier, but I also like to pick out a word and a quote of the year that is kind of like my theme of the year. My goal setting worksheet, I actually have a category for my word of the year and then my quote. And as you can see, my word of the year is resilient, and then my quote is by Socrates. It says, "The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new." And I love this quote so much. I felt so connected to this when I read it, and I was like, that is going to be my quote of the year. I want to constantly revisit this. I think I might even make it my background on my phone. And then I chose the word resilient for my word of the year in 2021. It just means to bounce back quickly from hard times and to be able to withstand difficulties that you may face. I really want that to be my overarching theme of this new year. Anyways, if you need help choosing a word, there are different like little generators you can actually find on Google, and you can type in word of the year generator and you can take a little quiz. They'll help you come up with a word if you can't think of one on your own. I think just really reflecting on the past year and figuring out what you want to implement in the new year will help you come up with a word on your own. So that pretty much wraps up my goal setting half of the video. Like I said, do whatever works best for you. This is just kind of what I do. I like to categorize my goals, write them all down. I printed them out this year, laminated them so I can review them often. I also keep a note of them on my phone. And then I also picked out a word of the year, a quote of the year, and then I created a vision board on Pinterest, and I also made like a little vision board collage. This is just my personal way of goal setting, and I feel so good and ready to take on the year. Just getting everything released and dumping it out on paper and seeing it in front of me just makes me feel really motivated and encouraged to take on the year and just work on myself. So now moving on to the organizational part of the video, I want to share everything I've been doing to get organized for the new year, and I'm really excited because I feel so good right now. My mind feels so clear, and that's really why I wanted to make this video, because I felt better than I felt in a long time mentally, and I really think it's all because of how much time and emphasis I've been putting on getting organized. So let's hop into it. So first I want to say that getting organized physically, I think, is what needs to happen first before you can work on the mental side, because I don't really see how you can get organized mentally if you're sitting in a cluttered space, or you know, your car is dirty, anything like that. So I highly recommend first just doing a clean out and getting rid of stuff that no longer serves a purpose to you anymore, and then just deep cleaning your living domain, deep cleaning your vehicle, and just kind of starting with a clean slate. So today when I'm filming this is January 2nd, and Zach and I, we spent January 1st cleaning out our camper. We filled up 2 trash bags worth of stuff. We cleaned out our fridge, our freezer. We went through all of our drawers. We got rid of stuff. We got rid of boxes we still had from Christmas. I took some of my clothes, put them in storage in my parents' house, and we just really were working on like simplifying our camper. We already live in a tiny space, so we don't own as many belongings as most people probably do. So that helps us already, but if you have a house or an apartment and you're able to kind of like hoard stuff, I really recommend just doing a clean out. There's like books and all kinds of shows you can watch on doing this, but I would just kind of go from like room to room. In our camper, we just kind of started by throwing stuff away, and we got rid of all the trash and like extra junk. And then from there, we swept, we vacuumed, we Clorox wiped everything, we washed sheets, pillows, and then did laundry, got everything put away, so that way we are literally starting off the new year with a spotless living domain, and it feels so good. We lit some candles, you know, just kind of set like a clean vibe. The camper smells so good right now. I just think there's not much better than having a clean living space. So I highly recommend just starting your year off with a big clean out, whatever you need to do just to reduce that clutter, because I really think when you have a cluttered physical space, your mind gets cluttered as well, and that is no way to go into the new year. Now let's move on to getting mentally organized. So my first tip for this is just creating routines. I personally am a really big advocate for routines, and I like to have a morning routine, a nightly routine, a work routine, a workout routine, you name it. I love sticking to routines. They make me feel so much more productive, spend a lot less time trying to figure out what you should be doing if you just already have your routine down, and then you quit wasting time. And I feel like something that's also really beneficial when you are first creating your routine, again, same thing with goal setting, is just to write them down. I actually keep a note on my phone with a bullet point of everything that I personally like to accomplish in the morning, and then also my daily work routine, and then my nightly routine, and I have them bullet pointed so that way I can kind of go through and check them. And one thing that's really cool on the iPhone, if you use Apple products, is you can make the bullet points on your phone, so then once you complete a task, you can actually check the box to mark it complete. I find this really helpful because then at night, whenever I want to reset my routines, I can just go uncheck all the boxes, and that way the next day I am ready to go and I'm ready to check off my to-do list again for the next day. So again, just to reiterate, I highly recommend writing out your routines. At least just start with a morning routine, because that kind of sets the tone for the day. I think that is probably the most important routine that you will do all day. So I'm not going to take y'all through my entire morning routine because I'll probably save that for a different video and go really in depth with it, but a couple things I like to do to stay mentally organized and just to set the tone for each day are to read my daily devotional, write in my journal, and then I also read a page from the Daily Stoic, and then I'm planning to read my Bible for a little bit every morning. So very quickly, this is the daily devotional that I am doing in 2021. It is New Morning Mercies by Paul David Tripp. I'll link it below in the description. I also started this halfway through 2020 and I loved it, so I plan to continue in 2021. It's the Daily Stoic. It has one page for each day. This is not a religious book. Anyone can read this. It's just more on like practical wisdom. It is meditating on wisdom, perseverance, and the art of living. I will also link this below in the description. Something that I have been doing literally since I was 17 is prayer journaling. Highly recommend it. It has strengthened my prayer life and relationship with God, and honestly just very therapeutic overall for my mental state. So I actually filled up my last prayer journal, and I just got this new one at Target to start the new year off. It is a very simple one. It's not necessarily like a study journal or anything like that, and you could use it for anything, but I really like this one because it's super cute. It says walk by faith, and it has the bookmarkers so you can keep up with your days, and then on each page it has a different Bible verse at the top. And as you can see, Zach and I already did our day 1 and 2 of our daily devotionals since today is January 2nd. So I plan to write notes from each daily devotional, and then if I have a prayer or anything, prayer requests that I want to write about, I can also include that in here. So that is my plan to keep up with this for the entirety of the year. And then along with my daily devotional, it gives a suggestion for a passage from the Bible to read, and it usually takes me like 5 minutes to read it. So overall, this part of my morning routine probably only takes about 20 minutes total, and I think it's just the perfect way to start off your day and sets you up to be more organized and productive. And obviously, moving on to the more obvious way to stay mentally organized is to invest in a planner. And I am kind of a planner junkie. I have been using a planner every single year of my life since probably middle school, and I just think they're the best things ever. I think they're so fun. There's something about just writing it down physically with a pen, your plans and your appointments, your goals, anything, that is just so much better than just typing it in your phone. So even though I do love using my calendar on my phone so I get a notification about an upcoming event, I also love to put them down in my planner. And the planner I'm using going into this new year is from Dancing Banana Girl. I'll leave her handle right here, but she custom designed these planners and they are so beautiful. I will quickly show y'all the inside so y'all can see what I'm talking about, but her artwork on each page is just so vibrant, radiant, gives off the best vibes. There's tabs for every month of the year over here, and I have already started filling out January. You can see I already filled in some of my upcoming trips, anniversary, birthday, that kind of stuff. I think that having a planner just makes being organized more fun, and I think that everyone should have a planner. While I am a big believer in spontaneity and I think that makes life fun, I also think that planning is the best way to be productive overall. And I think if you're always flying by the seat of your pants and never planning anything out, then hopefully you get lucky. Hopefully things kind of go your way and fall in your lap, but most of the time I think that planning things out is the most effective way to achieve success in whatever it is that you're pursuing. So biggest and most obvious tip is to invest in a planner. You can find really elaborate, expensive ones online, or you can just go to Target and get a $15 one and make it a priority to write in it and check it every day, and that way you will really just stay on top of all of your appointments, trips, birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of stuff. And I think that it just makes life a lot less stressful. And like I said, I'm a planner junkie, so I actually have a smaller separate planner that I will be using for business purposes only. So this is more of like my content planner, and in here I will write out whenever I have specific collaborations or special YouTube videos, that kind of stuff going up, and that way I can keep it all in one place. I have tried in the past just keeping one planner and color coding my appointments and collaborations and everything, and that way I could just see it, but I actually think that I like having two separate planners because I also have a plain white composition book, which is where I keep track of my business finances. And so these two just, you know, kind of go in like my business file, and that way I have it all right here, and whenever I go to do taxes at the end of the year, I'm not also like getting sidetracked or like looking at other personal things, and I can just check these two books and see my collaborations, exactly when they happened, how much I got paid for each one, and then I can also just, you know, write down important business dates in here and have it all in one place with no other distractions. I also bought this notebook, and this is just a regular spiraled notebook. This is more my creative vision notebook, and I like like having all of this just in one place. It's also fun to look back at later, and I can kind of bounce ideas off myself because I actually kept them written down instead of just in my head. And then my very last notebook, I promise, is this little honeybee notebook, and this is actually a daily journal that I got from Target. And something that I mentioned earlier is that I love to journal, but one thing that I haven't been really great at is just journaling weekly or daily and just kind of writing down like little memories, little thoughts, funny things that happened to me that day. And I really want to remember those things later, and I just want to write down little things that are making me happy that week. It could be something as simple as, you know, I tried a new coffee shop and the coffee was really good and put my order down. Or it could be something more serious like what I'm struggling with, but it's not necessarily going to be a prayer journal or a creative journal or anything like that. Anyways, this one doesn't have a whole lot to do with getting organized mentally, but for me it kind of does, because it'll just be a place to brain dump personal thoughts, and that way I can just kind of clear my mind. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to share a few more organizational tips, and this one is going to be health and fitness related. I bought a weekly meal planning notepad from Target dollar section. Go check your local Target. They might still have some. There are 52 sheets in here, so I can fill one out every single week, and I am actually going to fill out my first one today because today is a Saturday, and I'm going to try to do all my grocery shopping on either Sunday or Monday to get set for the week. So it has little categories for each day of the week where you can write out your meals, and then it has a grocery list. And I think what me and Zach are going to do is throughout the week, when we realize something is gone, we're going to write it down on our shopping list, and then every weekend kind of try and plan out our meals. And one of Zach's goals is to only have one cheat meal a week, I think. So I think if we plan that out ahead of time, then we won't accidentally cheat more than we wanted to. Even if you can't find this exact meal planning worksheet, I think that it's a really good idea just to get a notepad and put it on your fridge or somewhere in your kitchen. Write down on your shopping list every time something runs out, and then that way you have it with you. And also just to plan your meals a week in advance. And that way you are always planning ahead, and you don't have those nights where you're like, oh no, we didn't prepare for dinner, we gotta go pick up Taco Bell. So that is just my 2 cents on organizing your meals for the week. And then with workouts, this circles back to planning your morning and nightly routine. Go ahead and put that workout in one of those, and that way it's always in your routine. I used to always work out in the morning, but this year I'll be doing a boot camp class for my workouts, so I am going to do most of my workouts in the evening. So that is officially on my nightly routine checklist, and I just really suggest going ahead and incorporating your workouts into your morning or nightly routine, and that way you already know that it is on your schedule and you are going to get your workout done. So my very last tip is to make a to-do list every single night, and this is something I have been doing for several years now. I think it is one of the most effective and productive tips for staying organized, and I usually make it on my phone. I like to use the Notes app and do the bullet points like I showed y'all earlier, where you can check them off throughout the day, but that way you're not forgetting the next day. And I feel like at night is when my mind kind of races and I think of all the stuff that needs to get done, so it actually is kind of therapeutic to me as well. I can just kind of brain dump it into my to-do list. And I also decided to buy a physical to-do list. This is kind of like my meal planning one. I also got this from the dollar section at Target. They might still have them if you want to check, but I like that it is color coded, very colorful and aesthetically pleasing. Again, there's 52 sheets. You can date each one, but I just thought this would be fun to physically write down my to-do list on here, and then I can keep them on my desk and kind of, you know, review them throughout the day, and then also have the copy on my phone, because I think there's something really powerful about visually seeing things, which is why I also love vision boards. I think that our brains in general can just be kind of chaotic sometimes, and just holding so much information in there all the time gets really overwhelming. So that's why I love writing it all down. I love printing it out and making it visually appealing for myself. That way I can actually see what I need to do, what my goals are, and everything else. So that is officially going to wrap today's video up, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. Productivity and organization is something that I'm pretty passionate about because I feel like it can really change your life, and I've seen it change my life as well. So if this is something y'all want to see me implement more into my channel, just giving tips and tricks on how to work towards your dreams and the best version of yourself, then let me know in the comments, and I will definitely be sure to incorporate more of this on my channel. And I'm still still kind of planning what direction I want to take my channel moving forward this year, so it would mean the world if you can take a minute to either comment below or message me on Instagram and let me know what kind of content you enjoy seeing and what really resonates best with you. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next one.